Welcome back to the show, Emily.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure for sure. So, for those who don't know, Emily was on season 6 of this show. This is season 8. You're on season 6. And you were also on the first season of my show, The Unlicensed Therapist, about trauma. I'll have both of those episode links in the description to check out those episodes as well if you want to learn more about Emily and the things that we don't talk about in this that are mentioned in the other ones.
Yeah.
Because you've been through a lot. You have
Yeah.
been through a lot. Like, and I don't even know what you've been through since I talked to you last. So I'm eager to hear more about what happened and what's happening now. So let's start with your new clean date.
Okay. So my clean day is September 21st, 2025. That is the day that I went and checked into detox. Um, I like to say like my last use was September 20th, well
Mm,
like 19th, and then I didn't use the 20th, and then I went to detox the 21st. So I put my clean day as the 21st because that's when a lot of the stuff was out of my system and I could actually like see where I was at and not just be befogged, I
hmm.
guess.
Yeah. So how come? So did you stop using at the end because? Like, why did you stop using at the end of your run? Like, what happened to where you're just like, I'm going to detox? Like, was it money? Was it like
Um
someone force
money
you?
money wasn't really a problem. I accumulated a lot of debt with Cash App and my bank account, overdrafting and stuff like that. So like
Yeah.
money wasn't the problem, I was the problem.
Mhm.
We'll just say that. I was having drug induced seizures and they were like grand mal epileptic seizures because I have epilepsy.
Mhm.
But I haven't had an epileptic seizure in almost 3 years. So what was happening was they were mixing fentanyl with my cocaine, and I was smoking it, and I was speedballing in my brain, and my body couldn't handle that.
Yeah.
So I would literally do it once and fall out into a seizure. It started to become to where I was excited to have the seizures. I was getting addicted to having the seizures. And that was very dangerous for me. I didn't want to die, but I didn't want to not be under the
Present.
influence.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be present, exactly. It came to the point where I had met another person that would become one of my sex traffickers. Um, he let me live with him, and I was laying alone, seized out on the bathroom floor by myself, butt naked. And I yelled for him. I yelled for my mom. Like, my mom wasn't there, obviously, but I was so delusional and I was so scared that I was like calling for my parents.
Yeah.
And I had pulled my grips up about me, and I got a little bit of stability under my feet. And I went into the next room where my bed was. And I had actually fell out again into a praying position, having 4 more seizures. So after that, I woke up the next morning. I put it down for the night, and I woke up the next morning and I was scared. Honestly, I was really scared. I was just tired of him. I was tired of the drugs. I was tired of all of it. And it wasn't my last use because I used 2 more days after that.
Mhm.
But that was one of the first wake up calls that I got, was if you don't stop, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
And so I packed all my stuff up, and he was in a sleep, like a drug induced sleep. And I took all my stuff outside. Um I'm guessing he didn't really realize the severity of it because like I literally dropped to the first porch step, and I just started praying, and I thanked God that I got out of there alive.
Yeah.
Um it wasn't so much that he was harming me, but he was feeding my addiction, and he was having me do things like rewarding me with stuff and stuff like that. And
And we'll
That's
get
not
into
what I
it.
want in my life. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not what I wanted in my life.
Yeah. So that was at the end of it. That was the end of your run.
Yeah.
And so when you relapsed, it was with cocaine.
Yes.
Okay. And I have always assumed for the last few years that you can't even get pure cocaine anymore, that it's all of it's cut with fentanyl these days.
Yeah. Yeah. So I didn't realize that was what was happening until I went to rehab and they tested my blood.
Uh-huh.
And there was no way that I was using fentanyl, but I was using it
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
So my detox was 10 times harder.
Yeah.
I detoxed for a month straight. I've been through 5 different rehabilitation centers in the last 3 months. 2 of them were sober livings, and the other 2 were detoxes and inpatient. Um, and it took at least 45 to 50 days for everything, like my mental detox, the drug detox. Um, I was detoxing off of mental health meds. I was refusing to take mental health meds because I was convinced I was in a psychosis and convinced that they were making me worse.
So you were
Um,
detoxing. Were you taking the mental health meds while using coke?
yes, yes,
So you were at least aware enough while getting high that you knew you needed the mental health meds.
yes,
That's good. I
yeah.
mean, I
So
like if I can't
it,
imagine stopping like my meds because like I'm on Cymbalta, I'm on Lamictal, I'm on
yes,
gabapentin. You know what I mean? Like I would need. You can
right.
smoke on camera. You can smoke on
Okay.
camera.
Sorry, it's a vape.
Whatever you're doing.
I know. I just didn't want to do it on camera. I'm sorry. That's the only thing I get today.
That's funny. All right.
Sorry.
No, that's so funny to me. I knew exactly, I've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
Um, so let's rewind back. The last time we met was what I'm looking at it right now because I wanted to double check. You were on season 6, episode 11, episode 174, and this is the 270s now. So you were on like 100
Hmm.
episodes ago.
Yeah.
And that was the beginning of September 2024.
Right.
So we recorded about a year before you got clean this time. So the last time we probably talked was around last fall, not 2025 fall, the fall before that.
Right.
Um, so when did you relapse? Do you remember? Like, was it this past spring? Was it this past winter? Like
I
a
think it
year
was in
ago?
it was about a year ago when I first relapsed.
How
And
what happened or why? Like, did something happen
so
and you like
I
said,
was
"Fuck, I gotta get high"?
yeah, I was already engaging in some old behaviors.
Like what?
Um,
Can I
I
ask?
was still talking. Yeah, you can ask. I was still talking to old people that I used to get money from, Johns,
Okay.
tricks, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
Um, I thought that if I had all the money in the world, I didn't have all the money in the world, but I got $1,000 check from the job that I was working at. I was like, oh, I can make it now. I just kind of
You can make what?
like
You
I
said
could make I could make my own like reality. I have this thing with money that like even if I have like $300, I feel like I'm the richest person in the world. You know, and it leads me down a bad path because it's not reality.
yeah.
Um, I've never. I think a lot of it was my ego too. Um, my ego was very very big when it came to recovery. I was getting asked to do a lot of leads and stuff like that. And whereas now I see it as like a privilege, I saw it as like a must.
Yeah.
Like they have to ask me because I've been sober this long.
Mm,
You know, I've been
yeah.
clean this long. And it was like one of those things where like I was just cocky and egotistical. And I thought like everybody wanted me, everybody wanted to be my friend, this and that. And it really humbled me this last time because I came out of rehab and I got a taste of the real world. Um I I
Had you
went
done
I
the steps the first time around?
Yeah,
Like,
so I
did
did
you
the
do the
steps. I
steps?
had yeah, I did the steps. I had a
Okay.
sponsor. I have a sponsor now,
A
and
new
she's
one or the
based out
same
of
one?
Columbus. She's a new one. She's based out of Columbus.
Okay.
Um, we're on step 2 right now currently.
Okay.
So it's just trying to get our schedules
Yeah.
together.
About taking your time. There's no rush to get them done. Now,
Yeah.
when you relapsed, did at the time are all the cliches true for you? Where you stop going to meetings first, or cut back on meetings when you relapsed, or did you stop talking to your sponsor before you relapsed, or
Yes.
the other cliche, there's three of them. There's three cliches that happen a lot when people relapse. It's stop going to meetings or cut back, stop talking to a sponsor, and stop having a connection with my higher power. Which of those three?
I think the connection with my higher power was the one that I stopped the most.
Yeah,
And then I stopped talking to my sponsor a little while, and it was a lot, you
yeah,
know. It was a lot. I thought I could do it by myself. Um it was just it was something that I didn't know I needed. Like, it was a very humbling experience. Um like I said at the beginning, like being alone and almost dying, and then having everything run through your head of like, man, I should have listened to them,
yeah,
you know. I believe what NA has to offer and what AA has to offer, whichever one you deal with, and you utilize. Um, I believe that what they say is true because everybody's lived through it.
yeah,
Some things work for some people, some things don't work for people. Me, I have to have a conscious contact with my higher power. I journal now. I try to journal every day. It's like a mood journal slash connection journal. And in that journal, I basically go and I pull out my moods and how my day went, and I get to keep that conscious contact with God as my higher power. Um, I get to keep that conscious contact because I thank my higher power for everything, getting me to where I am today. You know, I live with my best friend, and I mean that's the most beautiful thing I could ask for. You know, it's not forever, but I mean it's helping me.
is that where you
So,
lived before? Didn't you live with her before too?
no, I lived in a sober living before.
The first time we met?
When
No,
was
I thought
that?
you. No, the first time you were on my show. You were in a
When
sober
was that?
living the first time you were on my show last
I think
September.
so. Yeah.
I didn't know you were in a sober living then.
Yeah, I just had my own room.
Oh, okay, okay. That's cool. You live with your best friend. So when you relapsed, what was that like? Can you walk me through? Like, did you call an old plug? Like, were you with people that were using, and you say, "Give me some"? Like, what happened? Do you
I
remember the first time you used again?
Yeah. So
Okay, tell
I
me.
my ex-girlfriend, my
Because you're
ex-girlfriend,
bi, right? That's you're
yes, I'm
bi.
bisexual.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Um, so my ex-girlfriend, I always call her when I want to relapse, you know, and
Okay.
I always call her when I want to go get plugged back into that old lifestyle. Um, I called her and I called an old plug, and they came and picked me up, and they drove all the way to Port Clinton, picked me up, and I had like $600 on me, and it was like I didn't care at that moment. I just had given up on everything. I didn't want to fight anymore. I didn't want my life anymore. I wasn't happy. There's children in here too, so I'm trying to not to put it in there. But I I remember the night, like I literally just said, you know what, screw it. And I packed up a lot of belongings from the sober living that were mine. I didn't steal anything. But I packed up my belongings and I left that place, and I could literally feel like a weight just knowing that I wasn't going to be there anymore. Because if I'm being honest, being in recovery is the hardest thing that I've ever done. Getting high was getting hard, but it wasn't as hard as trying to stay sober.
Yeah.
And I just gave up the fight.
Mm-hmm.
I literally just gave up, and
Yeah.
I threw it all away. Um Going into it, I was homeless for a while there. Um
Now, when you
I
say
was home
homeless, what do you mean? Like out in the streets
I
or like just bouncing
both,
couches?
both.
Okay.
So I spent about a week or two on the streets. Um I was still like, this is in Toledo, by the way. Um, I was walking downtown, I was sleeping on park benches, like bus benches, and I wasn't even really sleeping. So I was in a psychosis
Were you
at some
using
point.
while on the street?
I was trying to, but I there was like some days I would, some days I wouldn't, because I couldn't find anything when I didn't have anywhere to live. Huh? No, I don't have anything made yet. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Now,
Um,
were you
I'll make
so
it.
when you said some days you would, some days you wouldn't, did that depend on if you had money or not?
Yes.
And you and is that how you got connected back with the old trafficker? Was you contacted him?
Well, this was a new one. He he introduced me, like his old girlfriend introduced me to that lifestyle. When I was 16, and they were old friends, and I just hit him up like, "Hey, I need a place to go. I got some money, and like I can do that." And it was like survival of the fittest, you know.
And that's
So
the only thing you knew anyway, because when you were in addiction before, the only thing you knew how to make money was,
doing that.
sex work. Yeah. Called sex
Yeah,
work. Yeah.
that's what. Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
So
so
that's
that's
and then you went to that plug's house and he had a room for you, or did you have to share a room with somebody or
I shared a room with his dad. His dad was on drugs as well. And um I may or may not have to cut this episode at like 25 minutes.
oh
I
that's
just
fine.
want to let you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um I have to make dinner,
That's fine.
which I get to make dinner today, so that's
Yeah.
cool. But yeah, so he lived there, his dad lived there, I lived there. There was a lot of like women being brought in and out, and it was just it was a lot of chaos. So that's kind of where it went. Was it like the tactics were different than the first one that I've ever met? His tactics were making me feel like I was loved, because that's what I lacked. I didn't love myself. I didn't believe anybody else could love me.
Yeah.
Um, we would eat weed brownies, and because I don't smoke weed like that. Like I don't smoke weed now, but I've
Yeah.
never really smoked weed or done any of that since I was like 13.
Mm, mm, mm.
But he drank and he did ecstasy, and I like he would get me high on the weed, and he would make me dinner. Like we would sit down to a candlelight dinner, and he would be like, "Oh my god, you're so amazing," and just boost my ego to make me want to stay.
Yeah.
And
So he wasn't
it
physically
got
abusive then.
no,
That's
no,
good.
he was not.
That's
He was
good.
not. So that was the one thing. It was a lot of mental tactics, which my mom's ex-boyfriend used, and they
Yeah, I
can
remember
figure
that
that.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Again,
was a
if you
lot
need
of
to know
mental
more, go
tactics.
into the trauma episode to learn all about
Yes.
her mom's ex-boyfriend because holy shit.
It's not funny, but it's a lot.
No, I remember. It is not
Yeah.
funny. I remember.
Yeah. So I did that, and he would buy me like little gifts. He would give me what I wanted. Really, it's all a scam. It's all a
Yeah.
scam to make money. They don't care about you. And even if they say they do, they probably don't. They
Yeah.
most likely don't. I have a cramp in my
Yeah.
leg. Oh my god.
So
But I,
that probably made it hard to leave then,
yeah,
because he was boosting your ego, giving you things, you had a roof over your head,
yeah,
and you had people that, you thought who loved you.
right.
Now, before you left, September 20th or whatever, were there any other instances like over the summer where like you wanted to bounce and then you didn't for any reason?
Like from him
Yeah.
or
And just
no.
like in the game and
Honestly,
in the game in general, like because like if you were being trafficked, that means you had to have like gone to work for him, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm going to say this about me. I'm very comfortable in chaos.
Yeah.
And
That's how you grew
I
up.
don't I don't leave until it's bad. Until
Yeah.
it's really really bad. And to where I get to the point where I'm suicidal. I can't take it. I believe the whole world's out to get me. And that's where I was at, you
Yeah.
know. I kept telling myself I can take this. I can take this. I can take this. I just have to make it till tomorrow. I just have to make it another hour. Everything's going to be fine. I'm going to get clean again. And I
Yeah.
tell myself that, and it would never happen because I kept using and using and using. Um I was very scared. I think this last relapse was the first time I've ever been homeless on the streets before.
Yeah.
I
You had never
actually
told me
went,
that before. That's why I asked.
yeah. So I had been like, I had couch surfed before and stuff like that, but this was the first time I had ever been homeless on the
Yeah.
streets, scared, walking down alleyways with a lighter in my hand to burn anybody, like just crazy stuff, man. Because like I didn't have a knife. If I had a knife, I probably would have sold it, you know. Um, it really, really humbled me this time.
Do
And
you remember? I don't mean to call you out on camera, but I mean, it's fine. Do you remember texting me about an
no,
addiction? Yeah.
no, I
Yeah.
don't.
You had asked for a spot because you were waiting for your paycheck to hit later that day. And I said, oh, like I didn't have the money, number one. But number two, I was like, oh, that's not
That's
Emily.
not good. Yeah.
That's not
So
Emily.
I did that with a lot of people, but
I'm
I
sure you
never
did.
did it with people with that were like close to me because I knew they knew that I was using.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And it doesn't make it easier, but like I don't judge people when they do that because I've been there.
I so have I. That's why I didn't judge you at
Yeah.
all, and I'm not judging
I
you.
know. I know.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to explain a little bit. Like I was very desperate. And
Hmm.
I think that's the part that killed my ego is like I was getting so desperate for it
Yeah.
that like people were just stop talking to me. They would tell me if you want to go to rehab, then you can talk to me, but other than that, I don't want to hear from you. I was genuinely alone, and that really hurt. That really hurt me because I think a little bit with the recovery community in different areas. It's different. Um, there's a lot of like give and take. Like, oh, if you do this, then we'll make sure you're taken care of if you stay sober and do this. If you're out there in active addiction and you don't know what you're doing, there's a lot of resistance. Like they don't want to help unless you're getting clean, which I understand that. But like I want to eventually make this outreach to where I go and I help homeless people and I give them food and I give them blankets, like, or I just sit with them and talk with them because I know what it feels like to have nobody,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. I
So
mean, it's hard. It's hard out there. I mean, I've relapsed a bunch of times,
mhm.
and I relapsed. If we obviously September 2024, I relapsed in middle of November 2024. And my relapse lasted 2 weeks. And that's all it took was 9 days, actually, for me to go
Right.
into a psych ward and then back into meetings again because I overdosed on Xanax.
Right.
I took 22 milligrams Xanax in 12 hours. So, but you got to go.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I really appreciate you, just coming back and telling me what happened and what's going on. I'm glad you're clean now, and we will talk
Thank
later.
you. All right.
See
Thank
ya.
you. Bye.